Okay, it looks like we are recording is going to the cloud and everything. We're doing good.
Two recordings.
Yep, 2 recordings. I don't know why Barely makes this seem so difficult.
I know. I don't know. Maybe we've done this before. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, that we're kind of old hats at this. Taebyn, I got an email this morning from a company that was offering to teach me how to read maps backwards.
Oh yeah, really? How's that going?
Yeah, it was spam.
Oh, you know, an unfortunate thing was that I went to my doctor the other day, and he
Mhm.
said you have high blood pressure and short term memory loss, and I was like, well, at least I don't have high blood pressure.
Oh gosh, yes, that's so lucky.
Yeah, so that was worked out well. And then on my way home, someone threw a giant bottle of omega-3 pills at me. And you know,
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
fine. I only suffered superficial injuries.
Oh gosh.
And do you know why you should eat cheese?
Well, because it's tasty.
And because it's fun to do.
That is true, but only if it's melted.
True. It's got to be melted for that.
Gotta be melted for that.
Oh, speaking of melting, the song in my earsies.
Is melting your earsies? I'll turn it down a little bit. There, is that better?
Okay. That's much better. That's much better.
Okay. Welcome to Barely Furcasting featuring Taebyn. Barely had to go on a business trip, so you furs are stuck with me, Rayne Raccoon. And with me is the pup whose fluff is never enough, Taebyn. How the fluff are you, my friend?
Well, it's never enough, apparently. No, I'm good. I've been running around, doing the things, and just the normal puppy stuff that I do. And how are you, Mr. Rayne? Oh, my cow.
I am super duper fantastic, and I would just like I couldn't be happier. So the title of this week's show was supposed to be Aquatic Chaos, but it's my birthday as we're recording this, and so I used my
Yay.
co-producer prerogative to change it to be Surprise Birthday Raccoon Podcast Party.
Are you surprised? You had no idea it was
Well,
coming?
no, the surprise actually comes when Barely finds out I changed it.
Oh, yeah. He's the surprised one.
But seriously, I can't think of a better way to spend my birthday than with my favorite pup and all our
Oh,
listeners.
yay.
And
Yay.
also, I want to say a very happy birthday to my friend Catton, with whom I share my birthday,
Oh.
and he's a listener of the show as well. You've met him at Get Out the
Yeah,
Float and or not Get
Fernanda.
Out the Float, Perlandia and
Fernanda.
A&W. He was
And
also
then
at
A&W.
A&W.
Yeah.
He'll be there again this year too, and I'm
As
trying to get him to
quite a
come out to
pinky
Get Out the
dink.
Float. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I guess speaking of get up the float, I
yeah. We've got to speak of it.
gotta speak of it. So all you furs that would like to go to Seaside, Oregon and go to a fur con that is also a very, very squeaky inflatable con.
Hmm.
Go to get out the float, Seaside, Oregon, February 2nd through 4th. Me, Rain, and Barely, we're all kind of were we like on the board or something like that? I don't know.
We're most of the board.
We're most
We're
at the
probably
board.
about 65% of the board, I think,
Yeah. So we'll be running
and
around
about
doing all kinds of
80% of
things.
the entertainment.
Yeah, actually, that's actually very true. So come see us, and it won't be hard to miss us because,
Yeah,
as Rain
we'll
says, we're
be running
bringing
all the
80% of
stuff.
the stuff. We'll be all over the place. But as we went last year, and it was a really fun, good
It
time.
really is.
Really is. It's a nice small thing, so you can actually hang out with other
Mhm.
furs, and it's in Seaside, which is a great little town. Sure, it's in February,
Yes,
but it's still a great little town. You'll be with lots of other local furs and everything.
and
So,
it's really not that cold there in February.
oh, it's not okay. I
Not
wasn't sure.
really. I mean, it's not bad, and plus that makes when we do our parade, our walk outside, no fur is gonna get overheated probably,
That would
unless
be
we have a
very
heat wave.
useful. Yeah,
Yes,
unless all of
so
a
it
sudden,
should be
oh, all the furs are outside. I guess we'll have this like 90-degree heat
yeah,
all of a
90
sudden.
degree in
Okay, now we're
February.
back to 40. Yeah, that's right.
But, should be very fun.
Yeah.
I'm looking really forward to it, and for those furs that are, like, unsure because it's a squeaky con, really just go. Squeakies are no
Just
different
go.
than furries. We're all one big happy family, and,
There's still gonna be lots of fluff there,
yes. There's
definitely.
gonna be lots of fluff, there's gonna be squeakies there's gonna be
It's
bouncy
gonna be
houses,
it's gonna be
there's
fursuit
gonna be
games, there's,
fursuit
all kinds
games,
of stuff.
yes.
DJ dances in the night,
Oh,
DJ
yes,
Teddy Nose Up.
2. Not only 1 dance area, but 2.
That's
So
right.
we are gonna have the main stage where if you just wanna dance, you can just go
Mhm.
there to the main stage and dance and
Okay,
vibe
so
with the
that's gonna
music.
be in the main stager. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then over in the big room where all the bouncy castles are, we're gonna have the bouncy stage. And so the bouncy stage will be for if you wanna dance and bounce or just bounce and listen to music and chill out.
Just
It's
chill
gonna be
out.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's
No,
gonna be a
it'll
lot
be
of fun.
great.
DJ Rekka is on tap for
DJ
being
Rekka,
there.
all you furs, the DJ Rekka that
Yes.
you've seen at ANW, at FC, at all the big cons. DJ
Mhm.
Rekka is going to be there at
Yes.
Get Out the Float. Great guy and
Oh, awesome guy.
awesome. Puts on awesome, awesome sets. If you haven't seen him DJ before, so he's if nothing else, he's a great reason to go to.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna DJ 2 sets probably.
nice,
I've gotta
nice.
look for a couple more DJs who wanna do a couple sets. So we've got 12 DJs in all, and
12
they will be
you first.
listed. Yes, they will be listed on the, Get On the Float site, for everybody to see who's gonna be there. We got a lot of great DJs. It's gonna be awesome.
It should be really, really a big, big party time, all you furs.
Yes.
So please register at getoutthefloat.com. That's all one word, get out the
Mhm.
float. And come join the fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
Me too.
And of course, also speaking of fun, all you furs, A&W, Anther Northwest, of course, is coming
Mhm.
up here in January. Me and Rain will also be at
We
that,
will.
running all over the place. Like that's, I mean, that's
Like crazy,
I
like always.
like always. I mean, I think that what's this pup does right here at cons is runs all over the fluff, and it's just crazy. But that's what it
You
is.
do.
So all you first can see us there. We are still accepting film festival submissions, and
Excellent.
they close soon. The submissions, the due date is December 15th. So you have if you're listening to this now, you still have time. Well, of course you're listening to this now because when else are you going to be listening to it? You can't listen to it
Yeah,
when
you
you're
can't
not
listen
listening
to
to it
it
now.
you can't listen to it in the past.
When you're listening, yeah, no, it just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
You have to listen to it now because that's the only way we can deliver it.
So only way we can do. So the types of videos we're looking for, happy, feel good type things, things that demonstrate the beauty of the fandom, just
Yes.
great stuff. If you know how A&W works, those types of
Mhm.
things. So anyway, please submit
Yes.
your entries, and then maybe you'll make it into the
And
film festival.
they should be anthropomorphic in
Yes. Oh, thank
nature.
you.
Please
Yes.
please don't just submit like you eating a hamburger. That's
Which
not what we're
has
looking
been
for.
submitted before, and that's like, and it's not even like a puppy eating a. It's just anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it
So
needs to be
anthropomorphic
something
would be good.
related to the furry fandom, anthropomorphic. It can be animation too. If you're an animator and have an animated movie you wanna submit, we would love to see it. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
helping Taebyn with all of that stuff, so I'm looking forward to seeing what gets submitted.
me too. Actually, we'll see. Actually, no, I have seen what's been submitted so far, and there's good stuff actually so far. So
Excellent.
it should be a good film festival at A&W this year. So I have some other things to say, but I believe you have some amazing announcements.
I do. I have 2 very special announcements for, this podcast. So as of today, 3 Do Who, our new Doctor Who podcast on our podcasting network, the Injured Nerves Podcasting Network, has officially launched this morning, and if you're a Doctor Who
Woo!
fan, I highly recommend you go check it out. It's available on all podcast platform as of the time of this recording, and the video version is available on YouTube, which I kinda
Nice,
recommend as we're gonna have lots of interesting photos and clips that we'll be showing on there.
cool, very cool.
And announcement 2, I kinda saved the best for last. I know it won't start out as the best, but just stick with me and you'll see.
Okay.
So as many of you know, my husband left me back in February for a guy who isn't even as old as our relationship was. Uh,
Insert awe sound here.
yes. So this, pretty much devastated me, as I guess you could probably figure. So I want to especially thank the BFFT staff and extended family, Barely, Taben, Tatsu, TikTok, Katten, Bafnadia, and Chitaro for being there for me in my time of need. But there's one
Yay.
fur that had really kept my spirits up and made me laugh. Over the last few months, we've really become close emotionally, if not in distance. On Tuesday of this week, I asked him to be my boyfriend, and he said
Yay.
yes. So who is this
Woo!
amazing fur? Why, it's only the sweetest, most fantastic ferret in the world, Ziggy.
Yay, Ziggy.
You mean everything to me. You mean the world to me. I love you to pieces. And that concludes this Raccoon's announcements for tonight.
Well, very exciting. All you furs, make sure if you see Rayne at a con. Make sure to give him a big hug and
Mhm.
congrats on all this good, wonderful stuff.
And come to Furlandia in May because Ziggy will be there.
And come to Fernandy and May because Ziggy and Rayne
Mhm.
and I will be there.
And yeah, and Barely probably too,
And
because
barely
he wants to
probably.
come and see Ziggy, and, 2 of our staff members, are gonna be there also. Well, TikTok is not really technically on the staff, but he's half and
He's a
half
friend of
on
the
the
pod.
staff.
He's
Yeah,
been from the beginning pretty much. So
from the beginning, he's always been there for us. So, he's gonna be there, and Chitaro is gonna be there. They're both working for Landia, at this con, and so
yeah,
come by, see them, say hi. They're gonna be working their butts off to, help make the con fun.
make the con fun.
Yes.
So yay. So this concludes our plug for everything for the week. um, I have a word.
Ooh, a
Um,
word.
so this word is Hooniend, which is spelled Hooniend.
Who and I
Hooniend.
end.
So, and this came up actually today because a friend and I were texting about
Mhm.
the next year's cons that we're going to, and he
Did you sit
meant
on
to
your
say
phone? Oh, he sat on his
no.
phone.
He said on his phone. No, he said. Well, he meant to say hope to see you at, but
Okay.
auto corrected it to who and I
Who and I
end.
end.
So I officially defined the word who and I end to mean hope to see you or see you soon.
Okay, who and I end.
Who and I end. That's
Yeah,
exactly. So
that's a
there's
good
that.
word.
So my hubby Tatsu called me on the way home from work today and
Mhm,
told me about a billboard he saw. So this is a real thing. So I saw a billboard and there was the McDonald's logo, not the words McDonald's, but just the logo, and
mhm.
a picture of a burger and a chicken sandwich. The only words were, "This is literally a sign," which
That's
took me like a
that's
minute to
pretty
get,
good.
but that was
That
really
is
good.
pretty good. I like that.
I really liked it. And
I
so
do
he told
too.
me that, and I had to think like how it's a, oh,
The
okay. That's
sign.
it takes a second.
Oh my
So that was
goodness.
funny. That was awesome. I have to remember to tell Barely about that next week because it
Yeah,
might
you
be a
know what? During Thanksgiving, Barely told me to knock off the dad jokes during Thanksgiving, but I told him, "I can't quit cold turkey."
oh, bark. Bark. You cannot. Speaking of which, in honor
Mhm.
of your birthday, Mr. Rain Raccoon,
Yes.
I have 5 quick birthday puns for
Ooh, I
just for
love
you.
5 quick puns, and I love 5 quick birthday puns.
Even
It's easy
better.
for me to say, yeah.
It is so easy for you to say. What's not easy for me to say is the next 5 things. So here I go. It turns out that the type of music that is most scary for birthday balloons is pop music. I bought
Of
a loaf of
course.
bread for your birthday toast. What do you get a hunter for his birthday? Well, a birthday pheasant. Pickles
Oh,
celebrate their birthdays by relishing them. And finally, how do raccoons celebrate their birthdays? They get trashed.
yes, and they host a podcast.
And they also podcast. One begets the other, I think.
Yeah, yeah, well, getting trashed definitely makes making the podcast a lot more fun.
Those things. Oh, and so those are my intro things, I guess, or
Nice!
something. My things.
Well, that brings us to the past today, and I have no past today.
I don't either. What am I even doing? I don't know.
I don't know either, so well, that makes it quick because then we can move on to obscure movie quotes, or obscure
But
media quotes.
first, but first, should we do some cat for nations? Are they later in the show notes? Did I miss them?
No, I think Barely didn't put him in. Barely is a bad
Oh,
producer.
bad
He's bad,
bear.
bad
Okay.
boy.
I'm glad
So,
I put him in my notes
put the
because
cat formations in, I'll put them in right here.
for posterity sake. So, are you furs? If you haven't heard, a few episodes ago, I created a new segment to the show called Cat Formations, mindful mantras to awaken your inner cat. And I have a book here, and each episode, or I guess catasode, I'm going to read the next 3 cat formations in this lovely book Awu.
Tell us about the cat formations. Awusa.
Awusa. I hurl free of the wave. I'm
Mm.
not actually sure what that means.
Well, I don't know if you've ever owned a cat, but they hurl a lot
Oh, cause
in the
cause
middle
the
of the
hair
night.
the yeah,
Yes.
the fur balls and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I am simply radiant. And you can
Very
see a
true.
picture of the kitty as a sun.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's kitty. There's little pictures in this book, and each picture has a little kitty. Sometimes they're hidden, but there's a kitty in there.
Sometimes they're very well hidden.
Ooh, and this one's really I like how they hide this one. So, if you don't get me, I have to go be awesome elsewhere.
Very true.
That
My
is a
cat
very kitty.
does that
Yes.
all the time. Yes.
And see that there's mountains and sun, but can you kind of see the kitty in the
I
outline?
do. He's
Yeah.
very well hidden,
He
though.
is very well hidden. He did very well. And those are my 3 cat affirmations for the week. Woo.
Yes. Very nice. It's always nice to have the cat formations. They're just so, like, calming.
Which is, if any fur knows me and has seen me at cons and stuff, there's
Yeah.
not much calming about being
No.
around me.
We will have to do cat formations every hour on the hour for you to stay
To calm
calm.
down just a
Yes.
little bit.
Yes. So you don't run around like crazy pup. But,
I
I mean,
will in
half the
between
fun
the
is
calming.
yeah, half the fun is watching you run around like crazy pup.
I've had furs. I once had a fur or a few furs tell me, that, like, at a con, "It's just fun watching me do things." That was
Oh,
kinda
it
cute,
is.
I liked.
It's totally fun.
Oh, so all you furs, come see me at a con apparently
Yeah.
sometime 'cause apparently it's fun.
Yes,
It's
it
fun
is.
to do.
Fun to
Oh,
do, yes.
cheesy.
Callback.
Like
Cheesy
everything I
callback.
cheesy callback.
S
I need to put oh, I see. Wait. I'm trying to fit I need to put in the notes here because next we're doing obscure media quotes,
We
and I
are.
need to see where to put mine in. You have a lot. Wow, you have a I see, because you have a lot. Okay, let me put it down here. All you first can hear me put it down here. So
Mhm.
this is me putting it down here.
Well, they're
What
not
am I
really a whole lot, but some of them are rather long.
why doesn't my thing type? Oh, because it's in the it's
Oh,
in
you're
the
in the
hidey
secret
spot.
area.
Secret
Hold
area.
on, I'll yeah, change the text color to black, and you
Oh,
should be okay.
okay. Wow, I'm having a lot of trouble here. All you first that are listening, you're listening to me have troubles. Okay, there. Now I can type. Taebyn's turn. Okay, I typed with my pauses, and we're good. We're good.
And I just realized I mistyped something entirely on here.
Oh,
I'll have to
nice.
fix it after. I'll have to fix it after.
Uh, uh,
I would mistype the title entirely. That makes
oh,
a whole
makes a whole
different
different
quote.
thing.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so last week's obscure media quote, or not last week's, but last time, which is 2 weeks ago, we had 3 media quotes. The first one was from a movie. Is you ever had a taco? I guess they don't have tacos in France. I remember the one time at a restaurant I used to work, or I mean own. They had a contest to see who could eat the most. I ate 143 and I was still hungry, but they had to close the restaurant. Do you know what that was from?
I still do not have any idea what that's from.
That was from Cheech and Chong's The Corsican Brothers.
Oh,
For some reason, it's not as well liked as a lot of their other movies. It's one of my favorites. I thought it was hilarious when I was a kid.
like Born in East LA.
East LA, yeah, that's
Oh, you've
another good
seen
one.
that. You've seen that.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes.
Oh
Yes, I love that
my
movie.
cow. Oh, it's a movie? I thought it was just a song. I was born
No,
in
he
East
did the
LA. I didn't
song
know it
for
was
the movie. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. It's
Oh.
only Cheech, though. I don't think Chong's in that movie. I think
Ah,
they were separated.
Cheech doesn't sing that song. I just
But,
did that. I'm proud of
yes,
myself. I'm
I am proud of you as well, pup. Okay,
Yay.
so our music quote was,
Yes.
"You're not the tallest or the strongest or the fastest or the cleverest. Legends last long, but not forever, so remember this. We're all together, so don't be frightened. He who knows least is most enlightened. It might be that ignorance is bliss. It's inherently ridiculous we even exist. So why be inconspicuous? A reasonable risk, just to give it all in. It's as easy as this.
Wow, I have no idea.
That is All In Together by Professor Elemental.
I have not heard of that or that musician before.
Professor Elemental is a British rapper who
Bop.
is credited with being one of the co-founders of a type of rap called chap hop. So he's steampunky and he's very funny. He
Chop, bop.
Yes, it's all of his songs are funny. You would like them because you
Ooh,
like Weird Al.
I do, it turns out.
You would like Professor Elemental. He's very
Oh,
funny.
I'll write that down. I'll check that out. Check that
And all of
out.
his albums are kind of stories. The songs are stories basically kind of. It's
Ah,
they play into, like, the narrative of what's happening in Professor Elemental's life.
I see, a
So,
true to life
it's
thing.
kinda yeah, it's kinda interesting. So, our literature quote from last time was,
Ooh.
"One would think, to look at him, that he ought to be jolly. One might think, considering his enormous wealth, that he ought to be happy. But this was not the case."
This was not the case indeed.
No, do you have any idea
Whose
what that was?
case was it?
It was The Case of TikTok of Oz by L. Frank Baum.
L. Frank Baum, that sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Who's L. Frank Baum?
The Wizard of Oz?
Oh, he did do it. Oh, okay, that's
Yes,
why he's familiar.
TikTok of Oz is one of his books. There are more than
Oh.
just one Wizard of Oz book. There is an entire series of Wizard of Oz books.
Seriously?
Seriously, yes,
I
and
had no
TikTok of
idea.
Oz is one of my favorites because I love TikTok. He's a mechanical man. He's very steampunky. He's all all copper.
He's also a
Very,
dog.
very He's also a dog, but spelled differently. This is
Yes,
spelled differently than our TikTok.
it is. It is.
Yes.
It is.
So we have new media quotes for this week.
You. Bop!
And I'm doing the thing with my fingers in front of my mouth, like, "Ooh."
You are. That's
So, the movie quote for this week is, "Gentlemen, since you're about to die anyway, I might as well tell you the entire plot. Think of villains, Jack. You want Dracula? Dracula? Hang on, I'll fetch him. Dracula. Ha! I can get King Kong. Well, we'll have a nightmare with Freddy Krueger. Have a surprise party for Adolf Hitler. Hannibal Lecter can do the catering, and then we'll have a christening for Rosemary's Baby. All I have to do is snap my fingers and they'll be here. They're lining up to get here. And do you know why, Jack? Should I tell you why? Hmm? Because here in this world, the bad guys can win."
Oh, I know what this is. This
You
is from the
do.
Birdcage.
Close, very close.
Oh, okay. Well, are you first? So we know it's not the birdcage. It sounds very birdcagey, but
It does
Robin
kind of sound very
Williams
birdcage.
didn't quite say all those words. So are you first? Make sure to write in and let us know. There's a few more quotes, but make sure to
Yes,
think about it. And if you think you know the answer, write us in. Either email us at barelyfurcasting. Is it Gmail?
at gmail.com,
At
yes.
gmail.com or in the Telegram chat, the BFFT chat
Mhm.
or via the website or something and let us know what you think these are. And in 2 weeks, we will reveal what they are. But there's more. There is
There
more.
are. We have 2 more. We have a music quote and a literature quote. So our music quote is, "Now the only thing a gambling man ever needs is a suitcase, Lord, and a trunk. And the only time a fool like him is satisfied is when he's all stone cold drunk."
Oh, that's got to be from Bambi.
No, this is music. Remember, this is
Oh,
music.
it's music. Well, I think that's the like this main song that's the unwritten lyrics to
Oh,
Bambi.
maybe, maybe. But no, it's not. No.
But no, maybe,
No,
but Taebyn,
no.
no.
It could be somewhere. Some alternate universe. Maybe that's the theme of
Somewhere
that.
over the rainbow, maybe. Ha.
Yes. And then our literature quote is, "Deep in the human unconscious is a pervasive need for a logical universe that makes sense. But the real universe is always one step beyond logic."
I have a guess, but I know it's wrong.
Okay.
Is it from one of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books?
That is a really good guess, but no, it is a sci-fi book for all of our listeners out there
I
if you wanna
actually
get a
thought I
kinda
might
hint.
be close there. I'm
It is a
really proud of
sci-fi book.
myself, actually.
Yes. by a very prolific author.
Not Douglas Adams. Well, maybe it's Douglas Adams. It still
Well, yeah,
could be
Douglas Adam
Douglas
was very
Adams.
prolific, yes,
It
but
was
it's
Tea
not
Times
Douglas
of the Soul
Adams.
and everything, but it's not Douglas
Yes.
Adams. Okay.
Okay, so now, according to the script, it's Taebyn's turn.
Yay, I have some. So, I didn't a few weeks ago, I didn't have some obscure stuff. I did the time before, but now I have, some obscure song quotes,
Ooh,
and I'm going to sing them actually this time. Last time, I think I just read
nice.
them. This time, I'm gonna sing them.
I don't wanna do that for the audience because, I don't wanna torture them that much because my singing voice is barely better than glass breaking in a garbage disposal, like, it's bad, it's bad.
With a kitty walking on eggshells or something, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it's just not good, it's really, really not good.
It's really, really and neither am I. But and so on that another plug, I guess, for me, if you wanna hear really bad singing besides what I'm gonna do now, you can hear this pup sing really well, no, it's really good Weird Al sung really
Yes.
bad by this pup
Oh,
at,
that sung
I'll do it at
badly, it's just interpretive.
interpretive pup-terpretive, yes. So you can
Pup-terpretive
see
Weird Al.
this pup sing some Weird Al at, I'm gonna do it at, I think, at every con I'm at
Mhm.
next year, so, you can come see that. In the past, when I've done this, lots of Furries have had fun at it, so, come do that.
Can
But
confirm, I have had fun every time I've gone.
every time, and you've even heard the same songs over and over again, and I'm
I've
gonna
even
throw
rehearsed with you the
you've
same
even
songs over and
rehearsed
over
and you
again.
still have fun. All you
I
furs, so that's
do.
saying something. Raccoon here has actually heard these so many times that he's rehearsed it for me because he usually does the
Mhm.
music for me. And
Yes.
but anyway, so there's another plug. I guess the plug for the episode hasn't finished.
No,
Um,
it's constant plugs.
it's constant plugs.
We'll never leak. We have enough plugs in this episode to keep us
It's
from
very
leaking for
to
the
keep us
rest of our
afloat.
lives.
To keep
Yes.
us afloat. So my obscure song quotes for the week. The first one it goes. It's hard to bargle now, gazelles, with all these marbles in my mouth.
Ooh. I think I know this one, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm thinking is it Beethoven's Fifth?
You're very, very, very close, actually, and
Okay.
and it's not Bambi either. I know all you first are probably
Mhm.
immediately thinking Bambi.
Oh, wait, there's no words to Beethoven's Fifth.
Yeah, but it
Oh.
could be unwritten lyrics, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
could be.
Um, so all you first, if you think you have an idea, let us know, and we will review it in a few weeks. So my second is it's time to celebrate your birthday. It happens every year when you eat a lot of broccoli and drink a lot of beer. You should be all be good and happy because there's something you can eat. A million people every day are starving in the street.
Ooh, it's a birthday song.
It is a
Did
birthday
you pick
song. I
that
did.
just for me?
I did. I did.
Oh, you're so sweet. Sweet pup. Um, I'm gonna say that one is Happy Birthday.
You are correct. By
Yay! But by I don't know who wrote Happy Birthday.
oh well. So all you've heard. So Rain got half of it right. If all
Mm,
you other viewers know the other half, who it's by, let us know. But we'll let you know in a few weeks anyway. So my third obscure song quote
got
goes
stuck in
like
his throat.
this. Got stuck in my puppy throat. And it goes, Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rain Raccoon. Happy birthday to you. Yay! Happy birthday, Rain! Yay!
Why, thank you. I think that song was Jingle Bells by Taebyn the Pup.
You are so correct. Okay, you got it. You got one. You got one. Great. Awesome. Awesome. Woo! Those were
Thank
good
you. I
quotes that
really
we did there.
appreciate that. Yes.
Yay. I did that one for you too. I did
Yes.
two of the three quotes just for you.
Aw, thank you. Make me feel so happy.
Yay.
So that brings us to media.
Media!
And so I have been playing more Vampire the Masquerade Justice, or
Oh,
Justin,
yeah.
as Taebyn prefers to call it.
Yes.
And I have to say, the game is just so much fun. Being a powerful vampire roaming the streets and canals of Venice is amazing.
Oh my
Uh,
cow.
yeah, I also just finished watching the second half of the current season of Star Trek Lower Decks.
Oh, nice.
Really
That's
impressed
the
with.
animated one, right?
Yes, I'm really still very impressed with the show. I mean, yeah, it's a cartoon comedy, but at its core, they never forget that it's Star Trek. I mean, it's
Oh,
just
cool.
even the some of the silliest things still have a really good Star Trek storyline behind them. So, it's really fantastic.
Hi.
Hi. So, yeah, it
Hi.
Taven had to run a little errand for a second
I
there.
did. I had to close the little door because I forgot to close the little door.
Oops,
The
to his
little
puppy
the
house.
little doggy door that I go through, it was
Mhm.
open and other sound it just I had to close it.
That's how you get raccoons.
That is! And we can't be
Mhm.
having that now.
No, we can't have that.
That would be a
Uh,
trashy place
but
to live.
yeah, yeah, tell me about it. But yeah, it's really cool. I love Lower Decks. They never forget that they're Star Trek at their core,
Nice.
and yeah,
Why
it's just
haven't I
really
watched
good.
this yet? This should be my
I don't
new,
know, you really need to
lunchies.
watch it. It is really funny, it is really cute. Even though it's silly and goofy, there's still good Star Trek storylines behind it, and the characters are just so good. They're really lovable characters.
Nice. And
Yeah.
are they how long are the episodes?
Like 30, 40 minutes,
Okay,
something like
so
that.
it is lunchy
Yeah.
length.
Oh, definitely. Yeah,
Okay,
definitely. You really should watch it. They're very good.
nice.
And then so right now Spotify is doing their wrap up for 2023. And so the virtual DJ X did my wrap up for 2023 and apparently I've listened to over 1500 songs this year
Wow.
by more than 1,000 different artists.
Oh my cow, indeed. Let
Yes,
me
and
try and do an impromptu, literal. So all you first, this is I'm gonna try and do this on the spot without even knowing that he said this. I want to try and do a impromptu wrap up in
ooh.
honor of Rayne's well birthday, but also his amazing feat of listening to all that wonderful music, or maybe not so wonderful music. I don't know. So
Oh, no, most of it was wonderful. I
most of
have
it
to
was
say I loved
wonderful.
most of it, yes. A lot of it was
Okay.
Weird Al.
So it was indeed. Okay, so I
Mhm.
have no idea actually what I'm going to say right now. So let's just try doing a Rain Raccoon wrap up.
Okay.
Rain listened to lots of music and it's really fun. So all I have to say is, well, son of a gun. If you eat cheese, you like lots of brie, and then you can say, um, I would like to not pay the fee on all the music that I just listened to because it was lots of fun because it was Weird Al and I didn't even rhyme right there. So I'm going to stop this wrap up right now. And that was lots of fun.
Okay.
Peace. Okay.
That was actually better than I could have done.
Okay, good. Thank you. I feel much better about myself now because I was actually not feeling good about my life, but we're good now.
That was actually pretty good. So what have you been watching, reading, listening, consuming, and
All those
playing?
things. Not too much. I mean, it's pretty standard. Been watching South Park for lunchies. Hopefully next week I'll be able to say
Ooh.
watch Lower Decks for lunchies. We'll see.
You should. Yeah, you'll really like it.
I really like it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like it. I do like me some Star Trek. Pup.
Yes.
And then think I talked last week about the Netflix show SWAT.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we've been continue watching that, still really good. And then we started watching, it's a Netflix show, it's a sitcom called Prince of Peoria. Have you heard of or seen this?
I have not. Elucidate me.
It is well, it's so it's a sitcom, it's pretty cheesy,
Mm,
but it's entertaining. So it's
nice.
I mean, you feel like you're back in watching like 80s sitcoms or something. Um
Okay.
Is that sort of cheese, but it's been entertaining. It's about a, prince from a place in, I forget the country, Georgia or something, and
Mhm.
the particular province is called Peoria, and it's this prince, he's like, I don't know, 14, 15 years old or something, and he's kind of a prankster because he likes this American TikTok stuff that is
Oh,
pranky and stuff, but he, dreams of going to America, and so he
right.
goes to America and he befriends this, but and then he's got all these quirks, and then it's the whole like, I'm a I'm a prince. I've got to keep my identity secret, but I'm also awkward, especially in America. And you can see where this goes. So it's cheesy but entertaining. If you have
Hmm,
nothing else to do, you might take a watch. Not because I recommend it necessarily, but if you just need something cheesy to watch, I was thinking this would be good for Barely. He has 90 time shows he watches. This might be
right.
like a good 90 time show for that. So I'll have to
Oh,
remember
cool.
to mention
Yeah.
to him next week. So that's what we've been watching. I've been playing Bloons, Monkey Go Pop, of course.
Mhm.
No Hearthstone this last week, but I've been doing Beat Saber
Okay.
because that's beat. I'm loving
It's
the Beat
such
Saber.
it is such good exercise. It
It is
really
such good
is.
exercise. And I've today, you've got the little like main volume packs and everything. Like there's the
Right.
one with $100 bills and everything. So
Yep, yep.
today I beat a few more on expert. I mean, it's the first pack, so the expert are really more like hard difficulty
Yeah.
for all the other, but so I had fun beating a lot of those, and I beat Crab Rave on hard difficulty on 140% again today. My best,
Ooh.
as I think you remember last week I said, is 145% speed,
Right.
but I did 140, but still that's like, oh my cow, that's like really
Yeah,
fast.
that is a pretty fast song.
It's a good one, but as you said, it's got the steel drums,
Yes,
which
I love steel
steals your heart
drums.
away. I know
They
this to be
do. Oh,
true.
they are so good.
So that's what I've been watching and playing and doing this week.
Excellent. Wow, that's actually a lot of
Wow!
fun. So
Wow!
that brings us to our favorite spot. And this week, some weeks we don't have a lot in this spot. Some weeks we don't have anything in this spot. But this week
A lot of weeks
we
we don't.
have a lot this week.
Oh my cow, there is a lot in this week. In which segment is this that we have a lot in, Rain?
It is time for Furries in the News.
AKA, this is the time when Rain takes the headphones off because I'm allowed pup to say that there are furries in the happy birthday times for the raccoon. There are furries in the happy birthday time for the raccoon, I said. There are furries in the place we call, which sometimes has happy birthday stuff, but not so much this time, in the bark.
And for our listeners, this will be the first time, probably in a long time, when the news is actually going to be longer than the intro.
that that is so extremely very very true.
So, is this first story yours?
No, this
Oh,
must be
okay.
Burley.
Okay. Well, I will read it then. Who's there? Land
I don't
Shark.
know. Whoa!
The new It's Jeff one shot comic from Marvel. Since his very first appearance, Jeff the Land Shark has flooded our hearts like an adorable tidal wave. Now, the ingenious and extraordinary and unbearably innocent Jeff embarks on his own adventures across the Marvel Universe. You thought it was safe doing laundry or going for a leisurely swim in the pool, but no activity can protect us against Jeff's cuteness.
Oh.
Collecting the hit Infinity Comics series from Marvel Unlimited app, this one shot features a brand new cover and tail. We mean
Oh.
tail. Written
Oh.
by Kelly Thompson and illustrated by
Heavy.
Gurihiru.
Very good.
I, I think
I
that's
said
how you
that's
say
right.
it.
I think that
And it's on the shelves right now.
right now.
Right now. Now. Go now.
Now.
We'll wait.
Now I say, do you know what I say now?
Now.
Now, brown
Yes.
cow. I with a
How now, brown cow?
with a bow and yes, very much, very much,
So
very
the
much.
next one is not a so happy story, and this is Barely's rant. So I'm reading what Barely has to say, and then I will add to it because I watched the video too, and it made me want to rant as well.
Oh, yeah, so
So
all you first, this is from Barely. He put these in the show notes,
yes,
but, he didn't know he was gonna be here at the time, but he's not gonna be here, so Rayne is gonna do that, and I haven't even seen this rant yet, so maybe this is something I don't well, let's just find out about it instead of letting me talk all night long. I don't know.
so the BBC is furry afraid,
Oh,
and
no.
this is the Barely rant.
Oh,
So recently, the BBC had a daytime series, we call them soap operas, that centered around a young non binary furry and the fallout of his grandpa calling it perverted. They did a story on the news where they attacked. So this is not part of the show, but then they did a story on the news where they attacked the furry community as being a sexual kink fandom and only a sexual kink fandom. They had a guest on their talk show that is clearly very misinformed and stated that all furries exist only to groom others to the gay furry lifestyle. Really? Now, I don't want to
what?
overstate how myopic this is for the BBC and for the person that they interviewed. We have stated time and time again that all fandoms have some who will go down that path, but furries get an unusually high stigma attached. BBC, you're ignorant and you did not do a good job of vetting the materials you reviewed. Shame. I watched the interview twice and I was incensed twice as the commentator clearly had an axe to grind and this person spewed so many debunked lies that it was infuriating. And
You
that's the
know,
end
as
of Barely's rant.
and I
And
have to
yeah.
interject just to say, as you read that, like, I can hear Barely
Oh yeah.
saying those,
I was
I
hearing
can
it in my
hear
head
Barely
too.
do that. I was like, "Is Rain reading this or is Barely?" I can't tell.
I watched this interview as well, and it was disgusting. And it turns out I did a little bit more digging. The interviewer or the interviewee that they had on, the guest that they had on this show, has time and time again throughout his guest appearances on the news shows, bashed the trans community, the gay community,
Oh,
the furries. He's just a hateful person.
the clocks.
Yeah, he's I think he's gay, but he's one of those like really self-loathing. I'm gay and I hate myself and I hate everybody else because they're gay.
Especially when it turns to 2:17 PM. Oh, those
Yeah.
clocks. Yeah.
So yeah, he is not a well-respected interviewee in
Ah, I see. Okay.
Great Britain. He apparently he's kind of a joke, and of course this was a right-wing news broadcast, anyways, and so they of course
Most
going to pick
likely because the
the worst.
pelican got hit the tree with its left wing,
Yeah,
so
so he had to go to the right wing, but
right
yeah,
wing.
it was really terrible. I don't recommend watching it. I did comment on the YouTube video of it because there were a lot of people that were chiming in with, "Oh, the furries and blah blah blah," and just kind of siding with this utter tripe. And I put a comment on there like, "Hey, every fandom is going to have some kind of sexual side because every fandom is made up of people." And people are there are going to be some people who want to sexualize things, and that's all right as long as they keep it into the adult area and keep it consensual. There's nothing wrong with that. But by trying to paint an entire community as a bunch of perverts, that's just wrong. And it's also kind of dog whistling trans issues. They like to say that, oh, furries are grooming people to be trans. There's nothing farther from the truth. We just happen to be very opening to our trans brothers and sisters and like to welcome them in, just like we welcome everybody in, unless you're a hateful person, in which case you can go somewhere else. There
You
are
can
furry
go
cons for
where
you.
it's not 2:17 PM somewhere else.
Right. So it's just definitely not that way. And it's infuriating that a lot of these crappy news stories, they tend to overlook the fact that we do so much for charities in the
So
world.
much for
We oh
not
god, we
y
spend so much money to prop up these charities.
yeah, and
And
not
we
just,
do it
of course.
because we love being helpful. And
Yeah,
that's the furry community in a
and of
in
course,
a nutshell.
not just financially, but we spend so much time going out and doing some outreach and, um,
Right.
just helping people make,
We've got
be
furs that go
happy
to
and everything.
hospitals, go to children's
Yes.
hospitals to
Mhm.
cheer sick children up, and
Yeah.
we don't do it for, any
We're
notoriety or
not
any
trying to
money.
groom them to
We're not
like,
trying to
"Oh,
groom
hey,
them, we're
there's a sick child. Let's groom them into" yeah, that's we
the
don't do that.
only thing the furry community wants is to make people smile and be happy, and,
And the only
quit
thing we
painting us with
want
this
to
bad brush.
the only thing exactly, the only thing we want to groom is each other with a
Right,
very
yeah, with
nice
a
brush,
brush,
yeah.
nice brushies.
The only thing I want to dispute with everything you said is true, except there's one thing that you said that I do not agree with.
What's that?
You said that all the fandoms are we're just all people and everything.
Well, yes,
This is true
except for us.
except for I mean, you have a pup in
Right,
the I mean, I
right,
am a pup, so I just
yes.
wanted to make that clear.
I sometimes forget that you're not people. You're people to me because I adore you. So,
Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, it's my birthday too. Look at that. All
yeah.
you furs Rain just made it my birthday too.
Aw.
Oh,
So,
yay.
moving on to our next story, Shanghai Disneyland just got a Zootopia ride.
Oh, an actual ride.
Yes. So,
Oh.
Shanghai, has a new Zootopia land that opens officially on December 20th, but the
Oh, it's
English
Zootopia
language.
Land. Wow.
Yes, it's a whole land, but they've also got a ride that goes along with this, and the ride
That's
looks
so
really
awesome.
fun. So the English language Chinese newspaper got a sneak peek, which you can read about on their website, which we'll post the link to the website in the show notes. There's not much analysis there, save to describe that the trackless dark ride is an action-packed pursuit through Zootopia's districts, unique themed entertainment experiences, and interactions with the characters.
You know, the first thing I thought was, "What's this ride going to be?" And the first thought I had was, remember in the very beginning when Judy goes on the train ride
Right,
to
right.
Zootopia? I thought,
That would be
"Oh, hey,
cool. I
you can
actually
have
would love
a
to do
train
that.
ride to Zootopia." Yes, just like Judy, and that's
I would actually love to do that.
that would be
But no,
awesome.
it's more like, it's on those really cool moving platform cars like they have in Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. And so
Oh,
it's a mix of actual practical effects and video effects behind the practical effects. So a lot
I
of the
see.
characters are either 3D animatronics or they're animated characters, and it's a whole new story and everything.
Are any of them cheese?
No, but there's a
Okay,
yak.
but there's a yak.
There
Okay,
is a yak and an elephant
that's close. That's very
and a
close.
hippopotamus, well, pretty much all the animals from Zootopia are in it. So
The
you
little
go along.
hamsters.
Yes, I believe I saw them in there as well.
Oh, I wanna go to Shanghai now.
Yeah, you go along for a ride with Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde as you try to rescue Gazelle from Bellwether and get her to her concert on time.
I want to go on this ride so, so, so bad.
So they also say it is yes, that it's a plussed version of the Rock and Roller Coaster Superstar Limo storyline, but this time there's a kidnapper and you're racing through Zootopia.
That's
Then when you
awesome.
get off of the ride, outside of the ride, Judy and Nick will meet park guests in the land at the Zootopia recruitment station, while other Zootopia residents will interact with visitors at the Zootopia Park apartments, which was previewed in the Walt Disney Imagineering Pavilion at the D23 Expo last year. The land's restaurant will be Jumbo's Cafe, and its store will be Fashions by Frou Frou.
Oh, oof, I I just have to say,
Yes,
I
it
this
is all in
sounds
Chinese,
awesome.
so
Oh, well, there
but it's still very
it's
cute.
still
I
be
watched
it's
the ride. Just Google Zootopia ride on YouTube, and it
I'm
will.
going to do that tonight.
Yeah, there are lots of videos of it, to
I
enjoy
wonder
watching.
if they're gonna make, like an Oculus, like a VR, so that us that
Ooh,
can't
that
make
would
it
be
to
very cool.
that
That would be very cool.
I am so I I am so excited right now. I am wagging my wag. Oh my cow.
Yes. He is wagging. I can confirm. I can
It's
see his
the
tail just
wag.
wagging. It's
Wag.
not, oh my gosh, it's knocking over Rubik's
It's
cubes
oh, that
behind him.
tail. No, I told you don't. Okay, no,
Oh my
calm, calm.
goodness.
Pet. I pet tail and okay, we're doing better. But
Okay,
yeah,
better,
no,
better.
I understand. Was very exciting for us both actually. So,
Yes, yes.
oh my
So
cow.
next we have a book review. Furry
Yes.
Planet: A World Gone Wild is an enjoyable tour of furries around the world.
And I'll take this one because I
Yeah,
summarize. It's a nice long article, very well written, and I'm gonna
it
well
is.
summarize. It's not too much of a summary, but I took like half of it out, but it's still gonna be long anyway because well that's what I do. But because there was so much good stuff in it. So yes, this is a new book. It's called Furry Planet. As Rain said, A World Gone Wild is an enjoyable tour of furries around the world. This review is by our very own Grubs Grizzly, who
Mhm.
we've had on the show before. That is
Yes,
aka Ask Papa Bear, if you know
correct.
about Grubs. Um,
AskPapaBear.com if you have any furry related, Dear Abby type questions.
yes, definitely.
He is
Um,
fantastic at answering those.
and this review is actually showed up in Fur Planet, but we'll post a link to it in the show notes. So remind me, Rain, to send you the link so that
Please
you can
send me the
post it
link.
in the show notes on the website.
Will do.
But yeah, so and the Furry Planet is an interesting complement to Furry Nation. That's Grubs Grizzly's title. And so he said, 6 years ago, author Joe Strike released Furry Nation, the true story of America's most misunderstood subculture, which I've actually read. Um,
Mhm.
I'm proud of myself for actually reading that big thing, but it's a very good book, very well done, I thought.
Yeah.
And Grubbs goes on to say it's a nicely comprehensive history of the furry fandom, and being very impressed in the fandom, interested and impressed, but interested in the fandom, I naturally bought it and read it. So
Right.
when Strike released this new book, Furry Planet: A World Gone Wild, and includes history, costumes, and conventions, I of course purchased it as well. This book is
Nice.
not what I expected, he says.
Hmm.
Reading the title, I thought it was going to be more of a history, expanding upon the US focused first title with a history of conventions and furry culture in Europe, Asia, and other continents. The first chapter, titled It's a Furry World, starts out promising to stick to what I thought was the book's premise, with a brief look at the US before moving on to a 28-page whirlwind tour of fandoms in the
Ooh.
UK, Europe, Russia, Singapore, China, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. Most of the book after this, however, is about furriness outside
Mm.
the fandom. Outside the fandom.
Interesting.
Cheeseburger.
Hmm.
Cheese. Okay, so I got distracted. That is how
Yes.
anthropomorphic arts have pervaded world cultures in everything from sculpture and paintings to film and performance arts. So Grubbs goes on to say, this is some fascinating stuff. Joe Strike, through interviews and research, has uncovered a lot of truly interesting tidbits about human culture, ranging from the humorous to the slightly disturbing. The movie that Adam Sandler was in, The Stapler.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Derpy derpy derp 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 derp
Derp
derp.
derp.
That's how that went. So Grubbs goes on to say, for example, there is a lengthy interview with Dr. Stuart Sumida, a paleontologist and expert on human and animal anatomy, who has served as a consultant on many animated anthro-animal movies such as Brother Bear and How to Train Your Dragon. I think we all know those, or at least some of those. Dr. Sumida offers insights into how to create believable anthro-animals. Strike interviews some avant-garde artists as well, such as Anthony Osgang, a leader in the quote-unquote lowbrow artists movement. Swedish sculptor Margit Brudnin, who is known for her large anthro rabbit pieces, and performance artist and performance artist and director Rob Roth, whose Craig's Dream is about a homeless wolf-like creature's sad plight. Dun dun dun! There it is. These are just a few of the interviews and discussions of various mainstream artists, some of them American, some of them from other countries. It concludes with Strike's musings as to whether or not furry will or should enter the mainstream. Furry Planet, this new one, is an enjoyable read full of discoveries and surprises, but one that needs better focus and definitely a little less misleading title and marketing. That's so I say that because I cut out a lot of the middle of the story that Grubbs wrote, or interview, or sorry, review that Grubbs wrote, he goes on to say some of the nuances of the actual book and everything, and so that's the commentary on that. It's really not a standalone book, but more of a supplement to the first Furry Nation. I would recommend you buy Furry Nation first, read it, and then get Furry Planet. Both are worthwhile and fun tours of the fandom from very different perspectives. So yes,
Hmm.
all you first check that out. Since I've read that first book, I might have to read the next one. I thought Joe did a really great job of the first one, so this could be very interesting. So please, all you first check this book out, and if you have thoughts, let us know. Maybe we'll have you on the show for you to say your review of this book.
Yeah. Okay. Upcoming events.
Upcoming events.
Yeah, and we have a lot of them, and you
There
will be
is a
happy
lot.
to
It's
know.
almost like we're real estate agents because there is a lot.
Yes, there are a lot of lots in this one. So, starting December 6th through 10th, 2023 is Fortolaki in the Hotel Conrad at Krakow, Poland. Then December 9th through 10th, 2023, we have Furs Upon Malaysia at the Hotel Amada Pegling Yaha Pegling Yaha Seleg. Man, this is hard to say.
That is
Malaysia.
yes.
It's in
You did so
Malaysia.
much better than I could.
Just
It's
look.
in Malaysia.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
yeah.
go somewhere in Malaysia, you'll
Ugh,
find it.
God, the Filipino language is so difficult for me to pronounce. I had such a
Oh.
hard time when I was over in the Philippines.
Well, I think you did a pretty good job pronouncing, Filipino language just now, so
Okay. That's good to know. So then we have December 22nd through the 24th, 2023. We have Winter Furry Fusion, and that's at the Crown Plaza, Shanghai. What was that?
I have no idea.
That's at the so yeah, Winter Furry Fusion is at the Crown Plaza, Shanghai, in Xiang Lake in Shanghai, China.
Flop.
Then we have Furvester 2023, December 28th, 2023 through January 1st. So that's a really fun holiday New Year's Eve con. And that's at the Hotel Fortuna, Rettligen Tubergen in Racklingen, Germany. Then we have Bewhiskered, and that is December 29th through the 31st at the Hilton Durham in near Duke University in Durham, North Carolina.
And for all you furs that want to know what this all of a sudden, every now and then, this pop shows up and you're like, are there some, like, problems with the recording? What's happening? Is it my, like, device that's causing all these stupid sounds? No, that's just me.
Nope,
I'm just letting you know
it,
that's just
it's
me.
it's because we plugged Taben's mic in.
It's because we actually let me on the show,
Mhm.
and so things happen, and, I apologize. Bark. Okay, I'll let you continue
Okay.
on now.
All right. Then we have December 29th through the 31st, Bewhiskered. Oh, I've already said that one in
Oh,
Durham,
hi.
North Carolina.
But it's still happening for the second
It is
time in
still
the same
happening
time,
for the
same place.
second time. Then we have Yuryu Island, December 30th through January 1st at the Wyndham Grand Plaza Royal Palace in Chengdu, China.
Tang yang pop.
And then we have January 4th through 7th, Anthro
Ooh.
Northwest
Oh
2024
my cow, and are
at
you
the
gonna
Hyatt Regency in Seattle.
as
And
if
I
you
am
first
gonna be
even
there.
know you're gonna be there. We have already
You're gonna be
talked
there. We've
about this
already
all over
discussed
the
this.
cow tonight, but
Yes,
yes,
we
we're gonna be
have.
there.
Then we have the Japan meeting of furries, January 5th through the 7th at the Loser Hotel Torohashi in Torohashi, Aichi, Japan.
Achi Japan. Pop.
And then we have Pain and Desert Fur Con, January 5th through the 7th
There are so
of
many things happening.
2024.
Oh my cow.
Oh, yeah. And that's at the Sheraton Phoenix downtown in Phoenix, Arizona.
Left shark.
Then we have one that I won't be going to, but you and Barely will be at Further
Mhm.
Confusion 2024, January 11th through the 15th, 2024, in San Jose at the McHenry Convention Center in San Jose, California.
So if you first are going to FC, me and Barely will both be there. So come say
Because
hi
they know the way to San Jose.
because apparently
Do,
we
do,
to
do,
San
do,
Jose.
do, 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 do,
Oh,
do.
is that a song?
That's a song, yes. Do you know the way to San Jose is a song.
Do you know the way to San Jose? No, I don't.
Not quite like that.
Oh,
It's more
oh,
kinda
it's
elevator music-y.
oh. Do you know the way to San Jose? Ba, ba.
Closer, closer, but not quite yet. Look it up. You'll like it. It's a good song. Then after further confusion, we have Midwinter Frolic, January 12th through the 14th of 2024 in Whitewater State Park in Altoona, Minnesota.
The tuna is all in Minnesota.
Altoona. Yes. Then we have A&E and through New England, 2024, January 18th through the 21st, and that is at the Weston Boston Seaport District in
I,
Boston, Mass.
I am reminded that I was supposed to, because last week, well, there's one more. Say the one more, then I'll say what I was just going to say.
Okay. And then the last one we have for this episode is the Anthro Expo 2024. That's February 1st through the 4th, 2024. And that is at the Embassy Suites by Hilton Norman Hotel and Conference Center in Norman, Oklahoma.
So, I remembered when you talked about the Boston last week. I was trying to make a pun involving what did involving Boston and the Tea Party and probably the property because I was going on about
Proper tea. Yeah.
my property pun that I did last week.
Yes.
Um, Now I was trying to come up with something, but I couldn't. And you and Barely were like, well, I saw it on your faces, like Taebyn, just what? But I wrote down that I was going to try and figure something out for this week to be passed today, and I didn't do it. So hopefully next week I will try and come up with a pun involving those things.
Okay.
Okay.
He's writing notes right now, people.
I am proper. I wonder if when you're like someone says something and you're like, yes, let's do that. We should really be saying Oklahoma because okay.
Okay. So that brings us to math. Do you have some
Ooh,
math for us this
I
week?
do
Oh, thank
actually.
goodness, because if I was gonna have to do it, the only thing I know is, like, simple addition and subtraction, so
And you would teach us how to add and subtract or something.
well, I do know how to cross multiply. I invented cross multiplication according to my college professor.
Do you think that see there's something there. If you realize your true identity. Okay, let me do this. Okay. This is all you furs are listening to me try and do this and it's not working very well, but I'm going to try it.
He's
Um
brainstorming, but he's not getting
but it's
much
not
lightning.
really the stormy there's not much lightning in this storm. So if you are multiplication and if you realize your actual identity, which is not the identity you were assigned at birth, are you cross multiplying? Because you're trans multiply. No, that wasn't. I tried. It didn't work. It
No,
didn't work.
that was a bridge too far.
That was so many. Like my bridges don't work.
Yeah, they're just collapsing right into the canyon.
I have a feeling if any fur was still listening, they're not listening now. So any, I can say anything. I can say werewolf boyfriend, and it's okay because no
Hmm,
fur heard me
14
say
of them.
14 of them. Yes, I.
I think we should get to math.
I think I should get to math.
Oh, and he
Oh,
just
that's
bonked
how
his head on the mic.
I did just my little puppy head just hit on the
Oh,
mic. Oh, wow. This is good times tonight. Okay.
it is.
So, first thing I have to say about math is I need other first to start asking me math questions so I have other math things to talk about on the show. But I do have something tonight, but I'm running out of things. So, all you first out there, if you have math questions, either it could have to do with history, it could have to do with people in math, it could have to do with actual math subjects that they want to know more about, or
Do not
whatever math.
send your math homework into him, though. He is not gonna do your math
I
homework
won't
for
do your
you.
math homework for you. But if you do have math homework problems, I can help you with them and say some
Right.
general things that might help you on the show. I'd be happy to do that.
Mhm.
So this week, though, I would like to, it's a little bit of math history, fractions of the ancient Egyptians.
Ooh, Egyptian fractions.
Egyptian fractions. And in fact, I'm going to mention things called Egyptian fractions.
Oh, neat. I
But
did not
before I
know that.
do, yeah, all you first right here, he did not know that. We didn't plan this advance. He just did that. So any advanced civilization has a system of writing fractions. But despite their renowned technological prowess, the ancient Egyptians had a system of fractions that was comparatively clumsy, actually.
But they did have dog-headed people.
They
So, I
did,
mean,
which is
Egyptians were the first
very.
furries.
Oh, some of those, yeah, I'm really liking
Mhm.
some of those dog-headed Egyptians,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
Those have names. What were they called? They were
Anubis was the god that was the dog-headed god.
the Nubis?
So, Anubis.
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 Yeah, this pup likes Anubis a lot, actually. So,
Anubis is pretty hot, yeah.
especially in the summertime.
Because of all
I'll
the
tell
fur.
because of all the fur. So, there's something called an aliquot fraction. That's spelled Aliquot.
Okay.
Um, the word aliquot is derived from the Latin word meaning divisible from a larger whole without a remainder. That is divisible by an exact number of times.
Okay.
So, an aliquot fraction, which is actually also known as an Egyptian fraction or a unit fraction. So,
Mhm.
if you're Googling and you don't find the words aliquot fraction, just look for Egyptian fraction or unit fraction. An aliquot fraction is a fraction with only a one on top, such as 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/67th. So the numerator is just a one. So these were actually the only fractions the ancient Egyptians used, this was around 1650 BC, except for the fraction 2/3. So like all the
Hmm.
fractions they use only had a one in the numerator, except for the fraction 2/3. Now I'll
Hmm.
talk a little bit about that in a bit. So any other fraction, I mean, they had other fractions, but any
Right.
other fraction had to be written in terms of aliquot fractions. An additional rule to this was that they could not repeat a fraction. So that means that the denominators in this expansion of your fraction all had to be different.
Oh,
For
wow.
example, 2/5. If you want to write that as in terms of aliquot fractions, you could write, well, 2/5 equals 1/5 plus 1/5. Like, okay,
Mhm.
so you can do that. But by this rule about not repeating a fraction, the second 1/5 would have to be written in terms of other aliquot fractions, such as 1/6 plus 1/30th. So
Okay.
they would write 2/5 as 1/5 plus 1/6 plus 1/30th is one possibility. There's other ways you could do it, but that's like
Wow, yeah.
one possibility.
Right.
I'm not actually sure why I mean, if any for wants, I can look into and find out why they had all these stipulations to do this, but that's what they did. It's a little
Hmm.
clunky, but okay. But kind of a interesting natural question is, so you have to stick to having a one on top. Does that mean you can write any fraction as a sum of aliquot fractions, or are you missing some? It turns out that by an algorithm introduced by Fibonacci in 1202 in his book
Mhm.
Liber al-Bachi, that he came up with an algorithm that would let you write any fraction, that is rational number less than
Right.
one, as a sum of aliquot fractions. So that's actually net. There's an algorithm. You can actually,
Hmm.
you don't have to like
I tell you
think
that
about it. You
Fibonacci
can
was
do it.
very smart.
He was very smart. I mean,
Yes,
sunflowers and everything. Yeah, he was very smart.
exactly.
So the 2/3 thing. Why was it okay to have everything else have a one on top, but not 2/3? Why was 2/3 okay? Well, in the beginning, when they first started calculating stuff and doing math and everything, they had a special symbol for it, and actually also for 3/4, and even actually 1/2. But okay, so
Okay.
2/3 and 3/4, they had special symbols for. As techniques of calculations developed, aliquot that's when they started introducing aliquot fractions, and the notation that they had, which was hieroglyphics, of
Mhm.
course, was very concise.
Right.
Now, 2/3 and 3/4 were already had symbols before they started doing the aliquot stuff, so they didn't need to like break down those into aliquot fractions, because like why make a new symbol when we've already had these that we've been using?
Right. Yeah, I
But
mean, the tracks.
it does. But the funny thing is, eventually 3/4 began to be expressed as aliquot fractions, but not 2/3.
Huh.
Um, so for some reason they got rid of 3/4 because okay, we can do the but 2/3 we're going to keep that. The theory is I don't know if actually anyone knows the actual reason, but the theory is that 2/3 was just so common that they just kept that
Well, in
symbol.
commerce, it would have been. In commerce,
Oh,
2/3
really?
and 3/4 would be a very common fraction because a lot of times,
Really?
yeah, you
Okay.
didn't want, you didn't want a whole of something, but, give me 2/3 of that, of that
That's right.
flour, or
You
give
wouldn't
me
say
3/4
5/7.
of.
You'd say something like 2/3 or one.
Right,
Yeah.
right, something that was, because it's a very easily expressed, fraction.
And easy to visualize. Yeah.
Yeah, easy to visualize, and I know in, like, baking and stuff like that, 2/3 and 3/4 are very common measurements, just
Yeah,
because
that's
they.
true. That's
Yeah,
true.
for when you're combining things for baking, it's very important to get the right ratios, and 2/3 and 3/4 are often the correct ratios in baking. You'll find them, like, very
Yeah.
often in baking.
So it would make sense that in their calculations, whatever they were doing and how they did stuff back then, that maybe 2/3 was just really, really common,
It's
even more
useful,
so
yeah.
than three
It's
fourths.
very
So that's why
useful,
they kept
yeah.
that. Yeah, so that's it. Like this is like very, very interesting stuff. And in fact, there's not many manuscripts and documents remain from the ancient Egyptians with their math and their writings and everything. There's this one called the Rind Papyrus that was back
Papyrus.
in 16. Oh, yeah, say pronounce that again for me because I did
Pap
not pronounce
it's papyrus.
papyrus. Thank you. Um,
Yes.
I should know that papyrus.
Papyrus, yes.
I'm a
Yeah,
pup,
it's just like pup, yeah, but with an iris at the end.
with an iris at the end. So I'm a very flower. It's a very flowery document. It's a
Very
papyrus.
flowery. Yes, papyrus.
So this is one document that remains. So any further that's interested in like historical documents and history and things like that, you might find interesting this ancient document from 1950 called the Rind Papyrus. It has tables and calculations involving aliquot fractions and other mathy things.
Neat.
So there are actually, even though this is very ancient and we're all technological and know lots of things, you would think that there's nothing interesting or nothing unsolved or whatever about these quote unquote aliquot fractions that only have one in the numerator. It turns out that
Right.
there are still a bunch of unsolved problems concerning aliquot
Huh,
fractions. For example, and this all goes under the branch of a math called number theory for that's interested. I've
mhm.
talked in the past on the math section about some number theory things before for Math's last theorem and a few other math
Yep.
things like that. So this fits into that realm of math. But as an example of an unsolved problem, there's the Erdős-Strauss conjecture, and this is a conjecture that concerns the shortest expansion in terms of the aliquot fractions. So, like, what's the fewest number of aliquot fractions that you need to express a given fraction as a sum?
Okay.
So, for example, it is known that 4 over n just means the denominator. So, 4 over
Right.
denominator, you can write that as the sum of only 3 aliquot fractions for all denominators up to 10 to the 17th power. So that's one with 17 zeros after it. So there's a
Right.
lot that we know. So like 4/7 and 4 over 5,602, 4 over blah, 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 blah. We know a lot of those can be, all those up to 10 to the 17th power can be expressed as the sum of 3 aliquot fractions, but is not known in general for every denominator. And that
Huh.
that seems interesting. That why is that an unsolved problem? But for some reason it's an unsolved problem.
Huh.
And you'd probably actually get a lot of money if you solved it.
Probably.
At least a lot of notoriety. And so persons interested in these unsolved problems such as this and other number theoretical unsolved problems can check out the book by Richard Guy written in 2004 called Unsolved Problems in Number Theory. So all this is
Nice.
very interesting, nice history going on, and even from way back then we've still got unsolved problems in a branch of math that's very interesting to a lot of people, even people that are not very interested in math. Number 30 is still interesting
Yeah.
to a lot of layfers and everything.
I'm
And
not a very mathy raccoon, but I get very interested when you talk about this stuff.
there you see, there you go. You heard it here first, you furs. So there you go. If you're interested, look into it. If you have any other questions and want me to research any more of these things, write us in and let us know, and I will talk about it
There's
on
a
the show.
whole lot of math out there.
There is a lot of unsolved and new things
Yep.
happening all the time, new branches of math coming out, which is counterintuitive if you're not actually in the math cycles. Like you think, isn't math done? And I mean, I
Ooh,
understand
I
you
don't
might
think it
think
ever will
that,
be.
but I don't think it ever will be actually either. Lots of unsolved problems and lots of research going on and new, interesting, fun things to find out and apply and all that stuff. So, any further that wants to know more or has questions, write us in and let us know. And I will
Yeah,
research it as much as I need to and talk about it on the show just for you.
and he will because he has done that before.
I have done that before.
Yes. For me, several times already. I've
I
asked you
have.
several questions, yes.
Rain has asked several times some various questions, and I either knew the answer and or I'd have to research some more, and I would find out and talk about it
Mhm.
and try. You know, a lot of these things are you can Google things and there'll be an answer to your question,
Right,
but a lot of times there's all you first might have seen this before. There's a lot of words or other math that you don't know if you know this math or not,
right.
or don't understand what the answer is. Um, so if any of this comes up, I try to explain things in terms of math that you already know. So please feel
Yes.
free
You do a
to
good
ask
job at it.
questions. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. Even if you think it's really, really, really technical and really maybe quote unquote above you, I will do my best to explain it so that you can understand and see the beauty in what you're looking at.
You described game theory for me.
It's true.
You described Klein bottle stuff for me.
It's true.
It's
It's true.
very yeah, like stuff that was just kinda making my brain hurt. You describe it in a way that I can grasp with my limited math skills.
Thank you for saying so. There you first.
Yes.
I did for this raccoon. I can do it for you too. So
Yeah,
let's go.
if he can make me understand math, he can make anybody understand
There
math.
you go. Yay. Yay us.
Yes. Well, Taebyn, guess what?
What?
We did it again. We made a
What did we do? We
podcast.
need to, oh my cow. On your
Yes.
birthday even.
On my birthday. It said, thank you for spending my birthday with me, and thanks to all our listeners for joining in the fun. Also, as a special thanks to everyone on the BFFT staff who makes this podcast possible, and a super special thanks to our meme weasel Ziggy, who's my boyfriend now and the love of my life.
Oh, every fur, take this moment to go,
Aww.
oh, yay, Rain. And Ziggy.
Remember
Ziggy
that,
too.
yes, and Ziggy, yes. Don't forget my Ziggy.
Yeah, I mean,
And remember that you can support the show by subscribing on Buzzsprout, or by donating on Patreon or Coffee, or by purchasing merch on Redbubble, Bonfire, or Fourth Wall. The podcast is always going to be free to our listeners, but it costs Barely and I money to run this and other podcasts. So any help that you can give us is greatly appreciated. So with that, I say be kind to yourselves and each other. Stay furry, moo bark fluff. Taebyn, take us out with some pupspirational words, if you please.
Pupspirational. Well, first I say thank you so much, every for well, you know what I'm going to say because this is what I always say, but I mean it so much. Thank you, every for listening. It means so much to us. We hope we've entertained. We hope you have had a good time. We hope you've learned. I know I've had a good time and learned and got a little
Me
seasick
too.
and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seasick. How did that happen? I don't even know, but it did. So that was
Don't
great.
rock the boat anymore, okay?
I know. I really, really, really do. So yeah, so thank you all you first. We hope to see you, hug you tight with posies at a con. Hope you keep listening to the show because we have fun doing it. And also don't forget to listen to the other podcast that Barely is producing, and Rayne is also
Yes.
producing this new one that he talked about before. It is called
Three Do Who, and
Three
it's
Do Who?
monthly.
Monthly.
So it'll be the last day of every month. We'll be releasing an episode. Then we have Royal Highness, which is with Barely's sister and her friend, which they partake in some of the Devil's Lettuce and watch episodes of Game of Thrones. Then we have BFFT, which you're listening to right now, and
So
everybody
hopefully you
knows
knew about that one.
Yeah, and we also have Off Leash, a pup kink podcast.
So it's like I keep saying. I think there are 13-step programs for furs like Barely, and now it's starting to be Rain a little bit because
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
Podcast Anonymous or something. But yes, there we go. So you first have a lot of different furry and non not as much free podcast to listen to. If you have nothing else out there and you want to listen to stuff, we've got on the Injured Nerves podcast network 4 different podcasts for you to listen to if you have nothing else. But, oh yes, I'm trying to say goodbye. This is me saying goodbye, yay. So I'm going to say goodbye right now and say thank you so much, all you furs. Can't wait to bark at you next week. So until next time, I say, who when I end?
When I end.
And moo bark fluff, stay furry, bark bark.
Barely Furcasting is an Injured Nerves studio production and is found on all major podcast platforms or can be heard directly at barelyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and the guests, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded, and directed by Barely Normal aka Mike Began, and is edited by Barely Normal and co-producer Rayne Raccoon. This week's episode was produced, recorded, and edited by Rayne Raccoon. Opening and closing theme music as well as some interstitial music was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by our music associate Regday with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Regday, you can search for Tweezer Beak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through silvermansound.com, Gator Tots on soundcloud.com, and the YouTube free use library. Social media presence is maintained by Ziggy the Meme Weasel. Transformation Station was created by Lux Operon and is produced, directed, and edited by Rayne Raccoon. You can send us a message via email at barelyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFTchat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the barelyfurcasting.com webpage. The show is supported through subscriptions on barelyfurcasting.com, donations at ko-fi.com/barelyfurcasting, or through Patreon at patreon.com barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.